I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Adam Carr here. Hope you're doing well. This is Horribly Hollywood Single, some of the worst dating stories told by some of the best guests in Hollywood. I'm joined here today with my special friend, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Ruth, please stay healthy, stay safe, chug emergency, whatever you have to do. Please, we will IV oranges to you. We're so excited today. I have not one, but two guests, two absolutely amazing, fantastic ladies who are part of the International Body by Gia. I'm going to do a big Ace Ventura breath here and introduce both these ladies, and then we're going to start the show up. All right, my first guest, LA philanthropist, writer, and VP of Business Development for Body by Gia. I also went to high school with her, the lovely Kirsten Brown, and also the internationally recognized fitness influencer known to promote overall fitness and health with more than 500,000 YouTube subscribers and 55+ million views, featured on NBC News, Telemundo, Univision, Huffington Post, and spoke at the White House on behalf of Google, the CEO of Body by Gia Faye, and Kirsten Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome to the show.
Oh my God, what an amazing intro.
Impressive Micro Machine.
You don't know how nervous I get about the intro. Not only that, you have so much great work, and I just want to be sure that I'm hitting all the right. I was this close to messaging Kirsten beforehand and just saying, hey, what should I say? But I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to tackle this. I'm going to see how I do. So ladies, welcome. How are you?
Good. Just trying to stay healthy and fit and mentally sane through this quarantine.
Yes.
I know, it's for someone like you, because you guys both obviously you're in fitness. How has the landscape changed entirely as you're going probably more digital now, and probably just dealing with people who need to regularly work out just to feel not only fit, but just sane? Because I think everybody's just a little stir crazy right now.
I mean, I think the nice thing about this time is that, most people do think about fitness and they think exercise and they think eating healthy, but what they don't know about fitness is that a lot of it really, 80% of it really is in your mind. So during these times, it's kind of nice to start teaching people the foundation of where fitness starts, where, meditating is something really important, sleep as well, which is like our basic need. But people need to now understand that needs to be incorporated with your exercise, because exercising alone isn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, the industry's been totally disrupted by this. It's just incredible. Really? Yeah.
So is there anything too you recommend, like meditation wise or sleep wise? Because you're saying that's so important, and that a lot of people sometimes aren't just thinking of that. They're just thinking, I need to work out as much as possible. Anything that you use to meditate or
I personally like to, for meditation, I either do it
for the night, because I can tell you, I just want to look at my.
Oh, it's okay. No, it started freezing a little bit.
Oh, sorry. I'm done.
So I don't know what you were saying towards the end. So you were saying what I use for meditation and for just recommendations for sleep. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, meditation and sleep.
So
yeah,
meditation,
absolutely.
There's two ways you can do it. I've done both ways. One would be put on a video on YouTube where it's a guided meditation. This is for people that are beginners, that have really never meditated before. They don't even know what it is, how to do it. Do they just sit still? So one way would be to put on a YouTube video. I personally like to listen to Jay Shetty. He's actually doing meditation every single day right now. But then once you start to learn meditation, you realize how to do it, then you can kind of start doing it on your own. And just practicing to just sit in silence and connect your breath to your body connects the mind to the body. So just sitting, I'll sit for 5 minutes and maybe just count my breaths, count my breath seconds, counting 4 seconds in and counting 4 seconds out. Because right now, especially during this time, our mind and our body kind of feel disconnected, because of everything that's going on. So bringing that breath back to your body helps you connect that again to each other. And sleep, just as important. I mean, sleep, you really should be getting about 7 to 8 hours. I'm getting 10 hours now because, we have all this time. What really recommended to do is like 7 to 8 hours is what's recommended. But meditation, really just trying to practice it in the morning time for 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you have. If it's 5 minutes, that's enough. It's still better than nothing. Because if you have that meditation in your routine, that will help you just throughout the day, just focus on breathing. Because a lot of it really has to do with our breath. And if you do it in the morning, it's great. If you do it at nighttime, it's great, just as long as you're practicing it. And I think the most important thing about, during this time is routine is the answer for the chaos. If we have a routine, we kind of feel organized. We feel like, okay, this is what I have to do today. And that really will help us, get through it day by day. And we can only really do this one day at a time.
Wonderful. And because I might have people listening who go, well, cool, I'd love to start that, or I want to look up your stuff right now. Just tell them to Google Body by Gia, look up on YouTube, Instagram,
Facebook, Instagram. I'm
Facebook.
doing live videos. I posted a schedule today on my Instagram stories, just all the live workouts that I'm going to have all week. They're going to be booty workouts. There'll be upper body workouts, cardio workouts. And throughout the whole coaching, though, I really like to coach them through gratitude. So just even in our water breaks, we're talking about what are you thankful for today? Because I go back to 80% of it being in the mind and 20% of it is mechanics. So my coaching is a lot more than just exercise. It's, reminding yourself to love yourself. It's reminding yourself to continue to talk to yourself positively, because I think positive self-talk is also so important. If you're working out and you're calling yourself a piece of crap, you're not going to be really motivated to work out. So
that's my staple.
Exactly, right? So exercise is so important to be combining it with positive self-talk, and the Body by Gia socials, all of it, like I said, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, as well as bodybygia.com. I have also classes that are on there that are a little bit longer, that are more in demand. If you want them, if I'm not live streaming, you can have my in-demand classes on my website. But yeah, just really focusing on that self-talk through the exercise, because there's so many trainers out there, everyone can exercise with you, but you have to really find a coach. And it could be me, it could be someone else, but somebody that's going to motivate you, someone that can talk to you with, coaching you with your specific needs, because everybody's different. Some people have that positive self-talk and all signatures are like the Curvy Girls Fitness. So I'm talking to women that are curvier, women that want to be curvier, women that just want to accept their bodies the way that they are, at the same time learn how to build those curves.
I'm going to bring Ruth in for this one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really what
she wants to know.
It's really what I want to focus on, though, because I know right now is the most important time. And like you said, everything has shifted. The industry has shifted. I also do conferences, I do personal training, and of course that has had to be put on hold. And for me, that's kind of my sanity, in the sense of that's where I connect with people. So right now, doing more live streams through my socials has been a nice supplement to that, because I still feel like I can talk to people. I still feel like I can connect with them, even though I can't see them.
Yeah. And I think that one of the most important things about the fact that we're in this quarantine right now is you don't want to lose. I know you have a lot of singles in your audience. Nobody who's working on their fitness routine wants to lose their gains during this quarantine. So Gia really does a great job of keeping people motivated and on track.
That's fantastic. Well, yeah, actually, Kirsten, my next question is for you. Speaking of human connection, as Gia was just saying, you just recently got engaged. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations to you as well.
Either wear that ring or feed a small country. Oh, thank you. Yes. The engagement life. It's definitely, it's a different turn right now with engagement life. But it's wonderful. It's great. But as we go into this, now dating has kind of changed again. I was just reading up on an app called the Dating Quarantine app, which basically every day at 6 p.m. it asks you if you,
they've already
asks you if you washed your hands every day at 6 p.m. Yes. So they said a guy or someone, whoever was capitalizing on it, literally March 8th, like got it trademarked and launched it. So the Dating Quarantine app every day at 6 p.m. asks you if you washed your hands. And if you say yes, then you connect with someone that you can start texting with and a potential match. And then after 15 minutes, it sends you both a video link if you wish to start chatting. And they said that the app's really taken off, but it's ironic because my fiance is a bit of an introvert. She's an like outgoing introvert. So if she's around the right people or like family, then she's very outgoing. Otherwise, like I always wanted to call her when we were first talking, and she was like, just keep texting me. You don't have to call all the time. But I noticed that when we first met, it was mid-December, and then it was Christmas break. So we had about 2 or 3 weeks where all we did was text, talk, like video chat. We kind of did like a mini quarantine getting to know you, and that made all the difference, because then at the end of it she was like, I really wanted to go on a date with you after that 3-week process of not seeing each other, because then it really, there was a connection. I knew who you like were a bit more, like, so just wondering what you're hearing now about like dating, how that's all changing. They're saying that, you know, Tinder is up 10 to 15% like in usage. Bumble is up 21% in usage. I mean, dating apps are going way up because everybody now is at home. You know, guys aren't watching as much sports. There's no sports right now, so they have nothing else to do
How
but
do they
like
survive?
connect with other. How will they do it? There's no basketball. I'll go on Bumble. But yeah, just wondering your thoughts on that and what you've seen happen so far.
Well, I mean, I'm not in the dating game anymore. So, I mean, I'm kind of lucky from that instance, but I know Gia's been experiencing some really, but as far as like someone in a relationship goes and you're with that person 24/7, it's a real
Yeah.
challenge, you know? It's like a crash course in marriage. I think some people will come out of it stronger and some people will be dumped out into the dating pool
Well,
afterward.
some people will come out dead. There's just no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah, when you're there, you got to make it work. You got to make it
Exactly.
work.
I
But
Something
know.
new.
Yeah, for me, it's interesting because I tried dating apps 2 years ago and I had 1 month and I thought it was awful. I could not connect with people. And because it's linked to your Instagram, you know, people will go and look at your, you know, if you're an Instagram model, they immediately kind of want to go out with you and make videos with you. So I would meet guys.
Sounds appealing.
Yeah, it was not appealing for me at all. So I didn't like that they knew who I was in that sense. So I still haven't gone on it, but ask me again in a month, maybe I will give in.
Give you another month of just no human
Yeah,
contact.
but
Yeah.
right now I've been deciphering through all the guys that are hitting me up from my past. I've had a different guy hit me up every day, like, "Hey, you want to quarantine together?" And it's
quarantine and
like,
chill.
yeah, cool. And now it's the quarantine and chill movement versus before they had Netflix and chill. They have evolved to quarantine and chill. So I haven't gotten to that space yet, but I think, I mean, it makes sense. People are addicted to dating apps. So for me, it makes sense why people are now going to use it more because there's nothing to do. I personally don't feel I can find a connection through a dating app because I need to meet someone. I need to know that I have a
Yeah.
connection with them. And like I said, right now I'm talking to people that, you know, I had talked to in the past and maybe I kind of just didn't care about a relationship at the time. I'm very like independent woman. So I'm like, I'm busy.
Yeah.
You know, when I have time for you, I'll have time for you. But now being in quarantine, I will say my focus is like, oh my gosh, why am I not in a relationship now? Gia, just pick one. So
It's like quarantine goggles.
yes.
Just do it. Yeah.
Yes.
Just throw a bunch of shrapnel in a cannon, shoot it out, whatever hits. Well, yeah, I was going to ask you that, like, how tough is it before this for you to like date regularly? Because my guess is you would just have a bunch of alpha male
Yes.
douchebags kind of
Yes.
just hanging around you, looking for some type of each moment. That's just my guess.
No, it's
I don't know
really
as much, but
difficult. It's really
what's it like?
difficult. It's very difficult. Most of the guys that I meet are at events. I'll go to like a red carpet event or a social media event, and you know, social media
Mhm.
influencers are, I don't know, I think they're worse than, you know, the traditional celebrity, I guess, because they just feel like, oh, I'm so popular online. And so you meet guys that just kind of want to be your online boyfriend. And
Sure.
a lot of them, I mean, I have been out with guys and their friends, and instead of like conversing with me, they're like, oh my god, look at her Instagram pictures though, like, oh my god, look at her Instagram. And so for me, I always kind of feel very objectified. And I mean, it goes with my work. That's how I pay my bills, is the, you know,
Sure.
Instagram ads and stuff. So it's really hard to be able to separate that because people want to bring it.
Decipher.
Yeah, exactly. And people just want to bring it together. So it is really, really hard to date. And you know, for that many, you know, for those reasons, I've gone back to an ex so many times because I'm like, he loved me before all the fame online. And so it's really
Oh,
hard.
totally.
It's really hard. And like I said, I couldn't do dating apps because as soon as, you know, most people will Google you. And I don't like to tell people my
Right.
last name because then they'll Google you and they, you know, everything comes up. So it is challenging. I understand. I mean, this is a whole nother level, but like Jennifer Aniston, you know, you see them. And I remember before I got online and became public, I was like, how is she single? How can she not find someone? And now, I mean, I'm on such a small scale of that, but now it makes sense. You know, you don't know if people want you for you or because, you know, if you're a fitness model. And, you know, fitness is also something that's very sexual. And so people kind of think of it as like, oh, you know, you have the body. And their conversations tend to be so much of like, oh my God, your Instagram picture looked great yesterday. Like, oh my God, your body looks so good in that. And so it makes it hard to drop my walls. I feel like I've gotten these really big walls now
Sure.
because it's happened so much that I'm like, what's your intention? You know, which sucks because if I do find the right guy, it's gonna be really hard for him to get through those walls because I'm just kind of like, why are you here?
Yeah,
What do you know?
Does he like you or does he like your likes?
Exactly. Yeah,
Ooh,
people
does
are
he like you or does he like
People
your
are
likes?
obsessed with Instagram models, like
That
obsessed.
that's the name of your autobiography. Does he like Mike's? That's the name of your autobiography right there. Done.
Yeah.
I'll take 10%. I'm good. I just whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I do what I would recommend maybe. Yeah, exactly. No, it's what I would recommend maybe, Gia, what you could do, you create a persona, Gina Fay, say like, and then you just start dating like with that, and then just see who shows up and like really wants to talk to you. And then whoever has like the best personality, you rip off the fat suit, do the whole thing. I think it
know.
could be a good undercover.
That could be a good experiment in a YouTube series.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know how they sometimes they do like fitness muscle guys and they make them look old or whatever. Just put you in a fat suit, make you do everything at a gym, and you're just kicking ass, and you're like the best one in the fitness class. And then at the end, you're like, oh, by the way, I'm really good at this. GFA, if you guys want to come over to me, I'll train you. That's how good I am. I even had 60 pounds of latex on me, and I still kick this thing's ass.
Oh my gosh.
I think
I actually really like that idea.
Well, hey, it's my gift. Take it, yeah. Just
my
yeah.
creative director over here. She does a lot of my stuff.
Do some mock-ups. Kirsten just like, oh, so we have this. Like, we've already done the research. What research? What? All right. I'm gonna check my files here next. What are we doing? Okay, so bad dates. We're talking about how dating has kind of changed in the time of Corona, as it's now. Give me some. I'm just thinking.
No, you're freezing.
When dates, I would as well either just like a free therapy session. Oh, having a little bit of a connection issue. We're coming right back.
Yeah, restate.
Okay. Here we go. So what we're asking for is thinking back to the time before Corona here in dating. If you have a bad relationship, a bad date, think of this like a really, it's like a free therapy session. Feel free to blame your parents, blame the guy, blame the situation, whatever you want. But let's get into some bad dates.
Gosh, bad dates. Do you want to start, Kirsten? Her bad date is actually really funny.
She was around for it too. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, mine is quarantine relevant because it involves having a cold and going out on a date when you shouldn't. But it's not recent, so no one come after me. So I was in Vegas with Gia and Tiffany, and I had just come off the heels of like a tough breakup, a long-term relationship. And I met a guy, a really nice guy. Turns out he was also from the Hollywood, LA area. So we made plans to go out on a date when we returned back. And I came down with a cold in Vegas because Vegas is a cesspool. And I came back, and the morning of the date, I woke up feeling fine. You know how, you wake up in the morning and you have a cold and you think it's gone away. You feel great in the morning, but then as the day goes on, it gets worse.
Get that little tickle in your throat, little chill in your spine.
Yeah, it was getting worse and worse as the day went on. And so by the time it had just gotten too soon to the date, I didn't want to cancel on him last minute. I was like, I'm finally getting back on the horse. I can't cancel now. And my friend Tiffany, who's probably watching this or will watch this later. Hi, Tiffany.
Oh, yeah.
Our good girlfriend. I was like, I don't know what to do. I've been taking cough syrup. I've been, using cough drops. I said, I just wish I had some codeine, because codeine was already taken off the shelves by that point. They knew people were getting drunk off this stuff, so they got rid of it. And Tiffany was like, oh, my grandma has some codeine from a year ago. and she's like, it's probably expired. It might not work, but let's just give you a little shot of it, right? So she gives me a very safe little dose, right? And we're talking and I'm still coughing, and she leaves the room. I don't know, to go check on something. And I'm like, I'm going to have a little more. So I pour a little more codeine for myself. And then another 10 minutes passes and I'm like, it's still not feeling great. Let's just a tiny bit more. And
Oh
by the
no.
time, yeah,
This is
yeah.
like Quaalude scene in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. Yeah, it was basically like Quaaludes, but I had
Just
no
like,
idea.
just take 10 more.
I thought I was fine. And Tiffany comes back, has no idea how much I've taken. And he shows up because he was a little late. So it's one of those things where don't be late to a date, guys, because you left to our own devices. Women like will just add too much makeup or try to keep ourselves entertained or take too much codeine. And he shows up, takes me to a date, to a nice sit-down sushi restaurant. And by the way, this is about me being the bad date, just to make this clear to everybody. He has a nice sit down, he's valeted the car, he's ordered a sake, and I'm looking at that sake and I'm like, I can't touch this. I'm not feeling really good right now. And he's talking and I'm trying to be engaging, but
Oh yeah, you will be 2 sheets. You'll be 3 sheets to the wind.
I start to get tunnel vision. And I think like, okay, I have to tell this guy. I have to tell this guy. I'm like, you know, this like super sexy, smoky voice I have, it's not what I usually have. Like it's a cold. And I took a lot of codeine before I came to meet you. So that may interfere with things. And he's like, oh, I'm so glad you told me because you know, if I might have thought you were on drugs or something, and there's this history of drug abuse in my family, and he's going to this long story, pouring his heart out to me about his family. And I'm like sitting there and he's getting smaller and farther and farther and farther away. And,
no.
and I'm like, yeah, you know, I said I was mostly okay. I don't think I'm okay. And I jump up from the table and run out the back door where there's a security guard and a girl smoking. And the second I get outside, I fall flat. Like my body just is like, we can't stand anymore, and takes me down to the ground. And I hit my head on the concrete. And both of them are looking at me like, what the fuck? And I jump up immediately because you achieve equilibrium and you're fine. I jump up, I run back inside. I'm like, I'm okay, I'm all right, I'm fine. I sit down and he's like, all right, what's going on? I said, yeah, I just kind of fainted out there, but I think that now I'm better. And he's like, okay, I just want to, and up walks the manager who's like, the security guard just saw this girl fall flat out there. She's drunk or on something, because it's Hollywood. People are often drunk and on something.
Yeah.
And and my poor date, he's like, oh, I just want, he's like, she's fine. She just had some cough syrup, and looks back at me. And that's when I face plant onto the table and knock out half my tooth.
Yeah.
So they're like, get out of here right now. And he literally has to carry me out. They wouldn't even give us our food to go. None of the sake was touched. This poor kid has to take me back with half a tooth back to Tiffany's place. And it's like 20 minutes after we left or something. And she's like, what happened? You just left. And I was like, I had too much cough syrup. And she said, I only gave you this much. And I was like, I took 2 more shots while you were out of the room. And she's like, Kirsten, what are you thinking? Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Long story long. This guy still wanted to make out with me with half a tooth. And I swear to you, I thought I would never.
Oh, it's Hollywood. He's just like, you're okay, right?
It's like, half a tooth is not a game breaker, apparently, in Hollywood.
You're fine, right?
I mean, guys will hook up with you drunk and passed out. So
that's a whole other.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank God this guy wasn't like terrible, because I was like, holy shit, you were out with. You could have gotten sold into the sex trade. You could have gone to Russia.
Yeah. He was a sweetheart, and we actually did end up dating a little bit longer, but ultimately, like, we ended up being just friends. However, at his Christmas party that year, like I went to it as a bud, I had people like, oh yeah, so how do you know him? And I was like, oh, so this date, I knocked out a tooth. They're like, oh, you're Tooth Girl.
Yeah, that's so bad. Yeah, my stories don't top that. I have not chipped
any teeth.
But
by the way, that's a fear of mine, is chipping. I sometimes have nightmares that I'll feel the tooth fall out.
Common.
And it freaks me out. By the way, too, I love that you say sake, not sake. The fact that you say sake means I've been saying it's sake. So I'm gonna write that down.
I'm overly pretentious. Sorry.
There's an accent on the E. I did not realize that. It's silent.
Sake.
It's a Latin prefix. Anyway, Gia, please.
God, well, again, I can't top her story.
Who can?
It's my bad date was, I actually tried a matchmaking service 6 months ago because I couldn't do the dating apps because I don't have time to date millions of guys. I'm just like, narrow it down, give me the best ones. You know, it's kind of like having a
Mhm.
secretary look for a date for you. But I went on finally a date with one of the guys that they set me up with, and it literally was like an interview. I felt like I was being psychoanalyzed. He started to talk about like, well, what's the relationship with your dad? So of
Oh.
course I was honest. I was like, well, my dad cheated on my mom. I'm really fucked up because of it. And he just kind of got more and more into like, wait, but how have you healed from it? And like, it was an awful experience. He was a really cute guy. He was a producer, like big producer in Hollywood. But yeah, I felt like I was completely being interviewed, and he didn't actually want to go out with me again after that.
Hashtag daddy
So
issues.
Yeah,
hashtag daddy issues.
daddy issues,
Actresses.
100%.
No. So first off, you're not the first guest to say that a guy sits down on a date and then starts psychoanalyzing me and asks basically like, why are you single? Like, why are you broken and
Yeah.
damaged? Why are you still
Why
available?
are
And
you so
everything?
messed up? It's like,
By the way, can I sleep with you in 2 hours? But yeah, so
yeah,
it's
exactly. And
it's
this
really
guy's
weird,
40,
right?
and this guy's 40, never been married. I'm like, hello, why are you still single?
There's a
You're the one with the issue.
reason he's never.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something right now. Every guy at 28, 29, 30, they start just cementing everything that they're doing. And unless like I got my ass kicked for a little bit because I had some work that had to be done to me when I first met my lady. But if you don't accept any change or take any type of notes or guidance, you are on the fast track for just kind of being a dick. Like, and
Yeah.
just it's because you're just not used to being told that you're wrong or that your opinions don't matter. So what it turns into is like this putting you down, telling you why you suck. And then at the end of the night, it's like, well, I mean, God, I'm here because you're so broken and damaged. Like, we're still gonna go out, right? And you're like, no, in no reality. That's so weird.
No,
I
I
hope he
know.
paid for everything. I hope he paid for
Oh, he
extra
did.
sake, as it were.
He did pay for everything,
Oh,
but
good.
he was being cheap too. First, he was like, "Let's go
He
for."
paid.
He was trying to go for a walk first. I was like, "What do you mean, like a hike or like a walk? Like, what do you have to define this?" And then I was like, "Okay, we can go for a hike in Palos Verdes." He's like, "Oh no, that's too ambitious." I'm like, "Oh, so you want to go for an easy walk? Like you're not even going to go on my fitness level?" And then he invited me for
He wants to
tea.
go for a 50+
Yeah,
stroll.
and then he wanted to go for tea, and we went for tea, and the lady kept asking if we were gonna order, and finally he was like, "Oh, I guess we can order something to be polite." I'm like, "Yeah, this girl can eat. Do you hear I'm a curvy girl fitness trainer? I can eat." So it was just a bad date all along. But what I noticed,
What
and
is going
a
on?
common thing though, bad dates just in Hollywood. This guy actually asked me things about me. Most guys I go out with in Hollywood, they will sit there and talk about themselves for an hour, and never once will they ask me a question. Like I'll have to drive the conversation. Like, what do you like to do? What are your fears? What are your ambitions? And will I get the same questions in return? No. These guys will literally sit there and talk about themselves the entire time and talk about how awesome they are. Those are like, I can tell you like a
Oh, that
number of
sounds
dates that are like
fantastic.
that. This is why I try not to date guys in
If
Hollywood.
only the audience was their mother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
really. So, by the way, too, your requirements. I'm guessing from looking at shots and videos, I can't tell for sure. My guess is you're hovering right around 5'9", 5'10", maybe with heels on.
Oh,
Maybe.
close. Well, with heels on 5'11", but I'm 5'8" without any heels on.
Got it. Good for you. Good for you. So, for you in dating, and you prefer you like a guy who's fit, who knows all the stuff in the Tensky at the start of the office, right? Little
Ah,
doughy,
you're
kind of
breaking
like
up a little
tall,
bit. Can
goofy
you repeat
guy,
that one
or
more
do you
time?
prefer like ripped? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Here,
Okay.
can you hear me a little better now?
Yes.
Sorry.
Perfect.
For instance, like, do you prefer? What's your type? Like John Krasinski at the start of The Office, is a little doughy, kind of tall, goofy guy, or do you prefer like the bearded, svelte, ripped John Krasinski who can just kick ass? Like, where do you fall on the spectrum of these things?
I mean, if I look at my patterns in the past, my ex-husband was a 7-foot basketball player. So he was very fit and very tall. So it's been really hard to date after him because I can't go with, I don't know. I don't want to say I can't. It's been hard for me to date someone under 6 feet that's not in shape in some way. But I don't like those meatheads either. Like I don't want to be with a guy that's like, oh, let me count my carbohydrates and let me work out 4 hours a day. Because that's not something I like either, because those guys tend to be broke and they have no time for work because they're working out all the time. So there's also a balance there. But I mean, I do
Interesting.
prefer them to have a healthy lifestyle. And it's because I don't like to drink every weekend. I don't like to drink every day. And most guys also have to have the same lifestyle. I've read that the psychologist said that in order for a relationship to work, they kind of have to have similar drinking patterns.
Mm,
The
yeah.
drinking really has to match. And
Mhm.
I am not
Yeah,
like,
they say
hey,
the
let's
couple
get
that
hammered every weekend. Like, that's just not me.
Mm.
So,
no, they say yeah, the couple that drinks together stays together.
yes.
Like if one of is being tanked all the time and the other one's kind of staying sober, it will absolutely create resentment.
Not gonna
It's
work.
not.
Exactly.
You typically have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But
But
I
I've
think you
gone out
find too
with
once you're in
shorter
like a
guys
healthy
now.
relationship, finally, you end up kind of doing the same things.
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly. You
How's it
really
been?
do. I've gone out with the shorter guys and I think they're so much nicer. Short
Yeah.
guys are kind, they're thoughtful, they're more willing to work for you. And what I've noticed with these taller guys, they're just kind of like, I get it so easy. I don't really have to try. And so when I'm not interested because they're not giving me the effort, like calling me and taking me out and being caring and asking me how my day was, I really would like to date a short guy because of that. But I'm not saying that not all tall guys are like that, but the majority of them tend to be like that.
Sure. It's social Darwinism. If you never had to really develop or work on your personality,
Mm.
I think man or woman, it shows, especially as you get into your 30s, because you're like, you clearly have never been told to shut up or anything, because like you just think you're so hot and amazing, and you're like, at the end of the day, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just like what I'm sure you think you're just all right. A body's a body. Finally, you're like, I don't like you. If I can't genuinely be around you and you don't have nice things to contribute or say, like if you're just terrible, you don't want to be around it.
I
Like eventually
know.
it's like being around like a cancer. You
Exactly.
just want to get rid of it.
And in my 20s, I will say I was willing to deal with more of those hot, tall guys that all they did was like, oh, you're so hot. You're so hot. And in my 20s, it was like, okay, you're hot. You make me feel hot. But now in my 30s, no, I don't care how hot you are. If you have nothing to say that's going to mentally stimulate me, like, boy, bye.
Gonna make something
You
right
know?
here. Gotta have something good. Gotta have this.
Yeah.
Gotta have this.
Aw.
It's my paperweight.
Exactly.
I literally, just so
Exactly.
you know, when I went home with when I first started talking to my fiance and we were like texting, I went home. Oh God, I almost broke it. My brother had he took us to a glass blowing uh thing that like it was like a family thing. And so I literally made her a heart, like kind of like a green heart, and I was gonna bring it back. I'm like, she's either gonna think I'm a psycho or she's gonna like really like it. Luckily we're together, so it worked out.
You
But
know how that worked out. Yeah.
woo,
Good.
Yeah.
you know how that one works out, right? Just go for it. Just go
Beautiful.
for it. So this next thank you for sharing stories. I think they're wonderful. And by the way, yeah, just one last thing on the tall alpha male douchebag who has to flaunt money. I had a guest before who was talking about a guy who kept flashing his American Express black card but was super cheap. And every time he would be like, "Oh yeah, we should take this trip somewhere," and she'd be like, "That's great." He's like, "So buy your ticket and then let me know." And she's
Oh,
like, "Well, all right, you're always right." He's always flashing the card. He's always like, "Look how
Yeah.
great I am." And then at the end, he gets her all psyched up. What's that underground sex club in Beverly Hills? I have no idea what it's
Sanctum.
called. I figured
you
maybe you
know
ladies.
that.
Oh, I have
That's
never
it.
been there.
Sanctum.
Sanctum.
Yeah. She knew that one. She knew it. She knew it. She has T-shirts. I knew one
No,
of you would know.
infamous.
No, I know. Listen. No, listen. I get it. No, no. Um, you're like a nerd. You're a total nerd. You're
Font of information.
anyway. But she was saying that like you got her. You're like a female Stephen Hawking. I don't think
I
they
met
even
him.
understand. You're a total nerd.
Yeah.
Did you?
It was my second most embarrassing celebrity encounter.
Oh my God. Do you want to talk about that real quick? Because I just made a joke, but like
Oh.
that sounds actually very
No,
interesting.
really. I met Stephen Hawking when I was 19 years old. My father had used his office in Cambridge. My father's a physicist. He introduced me to Stephen, Dr. Hawking.
What?
And then made me ask him a question. And this man, he may not be able to speak, but his eyes say so much. And I saw so much disgust. He was not going to exert the energy to respond to me at all. Not this little 19-year-old blonde girl. It was humiliating. And I just backed up and was like, thank you, Dr. Hawking. It was an honor. Terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Felt like this size.
So that sounds very similar to my experience just dating women in general. Like, that sounds just about right.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
So, great. We have the next segment of the show. Oh, do we lose picture there?
There we go.
Yeah,
okay.
You okay? Oh, we're good. We're good. So the way red flags works is I have red flags right here. I will read to each, and then the point is, which one could you just not deal with? Red flag that I'm going to read, would you go absolutely no effing way? Imagine 2 months of quarantine with these bad ones. Okay, Gia, start with you.
Okay.
First red flag, literally always drunk.
The what?
It'd be fun and literally always drunk.
Oh yeah, definitely
we
no.
Just talked about this.
Big red flag.
Wait till you hear the other two. You have to pick one of them to deal with.
Oh, I have to pick one to deal with. You said.
Yeah. Listen to all of them.
1 out of 3.
Okay.
But hey, we know where you stand on that.
Yeah.
Civil War reenactor might be fun. And then of course, super racist.
I think the second one. What did you say? Reenactor.
Civil War reenactor. Which one out of the 3 you have literally always drunk, Civil War reenactor, and super racist?
Yeah.
Which one could you just not deal with in a quarantine?
Only one.
Oh, I can. Which one I cannot deal with? Gosh. Well, both drinking and racist. I mean,
but you gotta pick only one. You have to put up with 2 of them.
I mean, I deal with probably the drunk over the racist. So not a racist.
One. Well, which? What if they're? Because if they're a happy drunk, like, you don't know, it could be fine.
Yeah,
exactly. Maybe they're just charming.
Yeah,
right. But a racist, yeah,
no,
they could be charming. They could be wonderful.
Deal breaker.
Yeah.
All right, Toothless, you're up next. So I have regularly host tea parties for dolls. Might be fun.
Kind of endearing.
Be a little creepy after a while.
Or
right?
premise of a horror movie.
Is your clone?
What about a clone?
Right. You walk in, he's just like, oh, like, is your clone?
Oh, is my clone?
How much do you like yourself? That's the question.
Lord.
Is your clone? Could you do it with yourself? That's a question. That's another show. And then always takes the jokes 3 steps too far. From personal experience, I can tell you my nickname with my fiance is One Too Far Car, because she always says a joke and then I go, and by the way, and she goes, oh, dude, one too far car. Stop.
Oh, wow.
So we have regularly host tea parties for dolls. Could be fun. Is clone. And always takes the jokes 3 steps too far. Which one are you not going to deal with in a quarantine?
In a quarantine situation. Well, first of all, by the way, my fiance is wonderful. I'm very happy being quarantining with him. He's just awesome. But I
met him the other day, and I can just tell you, he was one of the sweetest, nicest people. And I was just so eager for just see and talk to people again. But you really, I can tell, like, you're really happy. And
thank you.
Like, thank God you're with someone who's like just good and is like someone great for you. So I'm really happy for you.
Yeah, he has a heart of gold and a purple heart. So he's like all covered.
He has a purple heart?
Yes, right? I mean, of course I was gonna marry him.
How could you not? How could you not?
But so these bad traits. All right, first the dolls. I mean, that's sort of contingent on is Annabelle one of the dolls, or is it just
that'd be creepy?
Or is it Ruth Bader Ginsburg doll? I could deal with that. You know?
RBG. I can do it.
Yeah, I love RBG. Number 2, clone that gets into so many issues, self-image issues, which is the whole reason why I started working out with Gia. So I don't know. And number 3, oh, I've already forgot what number 3 is. What was number 3? The
Always takes the
always takes the
jokes 3 steps too far.
You know, I mean, that could be cute, especially when we're
Probably adds.
our 80s. At least it's entertaining. I'm gonna go with no clone. I just can't. Like, I'm pretty sure I've had nightmares about that as well. So that's my
Clone would be creepy. It'd be a little creepy.
Too creepy.
Yeah, it's like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. Like, I don't even like myself. Why would I even, be around? Yeah, no, couldn't do it.
Yeah, I criticize myself enough.
Is it bad that I would actually want to be with my clone?
I don't think so.
Self-esteem.
Dude, that's your next. Yeah, that's. Could you imagine if there were 2 of you during Body by Gia?
Well, no, but with my ex, the reason I kept going back with him because I was like, he is my twin. He is literally me in a man body.
Well,
all the good, all the bad.
Holy crap!
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But I learned to love all the bad of me. That's why I learned to love him no matter what. That's the bad thing.
Oh, that's good. Because if you love them, and you can truly love yourself.
I'm watching her in real time go back to her ex. No.
It was hard.
She's already texting. Yeah.
I know. He texted me today. Today. And I'm like,
you know what's funny? They always know to text when you're like vulnerable and lonely. Yeah. Or when you're about to just eat cookie dough.
I was about to say he texted me when I finally have considered one of the guys that have hit me up, and I went out with him we hung out on Saturday. I know we're not supposed to do that, but I quarantined with him in his place on Saturday. And I was like, okay, I could really date this guy. I mean, he's been chasing me for years, so I kind of have thought about it now. And I was just telling Kirsten, I think I'm going to give him a chance. And then he texts me. That's when he texts me. He always texts me. I know. He texts me always when I'm like, oh, I think I could move on. Yeah. Classic. So annoying.
Classic
so annoying.
Oh, gosh. By the way, speaking of bad decisions, I just want to say we're mourning the loss of the business Susie Cakes. I'm in Playa Vista. Do you ever go to Susie Cakes up on Lincoln Boulevard?
Oh, no, but they're closing down. It's already closing down.
They're closing. They said temporarily, but all their locations. I got to tell you, that first week of quarantine, I went and got 2 slices of celebration cake. I'm not ashamed to admit it. But now that they're closed, I was kind of sad. I was like, well, now it's real.
Yeah.
Now it's real.
Now it's real.
All right. So real quick here, as we're kind of wrapping everything up here, is there any advice? What I tell people is imagine like a sci-fi scenario where you have 90 seconds. You can go into a room and you will be with your 18-year-old self. You have 90 seconds and you can tell them whatever you want to tell them about advice, relationship, love. What do you tell yourself if you only have 90 seconds? Each of you, whatever you'd want to start with.
Gosh, well, me, I would definitely just tell myself something that I learned more recently is to just love yourself. Love all the good, all the bad, because all the bad is good, because that's who you are. And if you accept yourself, you'll be able to succeed and move forward with your career so much faster instead of stumbling so many more times. And yeah, just love yourself the way that you are.
Yeah.
With no fear and unapologetically.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and kind of expounding off of that, if I were talking to myself, I would say something similar, but probably also just because you can't love other people until you love yourself. I kept trying to skip that step and just I thought, oh, as long as I love this person, they'll stay with me or they'll treat me right, but no, people can tell when you don't have faith or you're not in a good relationship with yourself, and they will treat you the way you treat yourself. So that has been a very, very important, if painful, lesson.
Yeah.
It's so deep. That's deep. So as we're wrapping up here, I just want to give everyone again, please, if you can just spout off all the information, handles where we can find you, websites, everything for people just to stay healthy, to stay fit. Maybe they're looking to work out for the first time. Now they have no excuse. We're going to be in our apartments here probably for the next, my guess is 2 months, the way it's going. I'm hoping by June 1st, we out of the gate, just hit this thing. But where can we find you, Gia? Kirsten, thank you so much for everything. Like, give us everything.
Yeah, so I will be hosting free live workouts on my Instagram, YouTube, Facebook at Body by Gia. And for some humor, you can follow me at Gia Faye on TikTok. The new thing is TikTok, you guys. And Body by I know.
The
And
new thing is TikTok.
bodybygia.com also hosts all my classes in demand if you cannot make one of my live workouts.
Yes. And I'm just Kirsten, like the number love.
Oh, yeah.
On Instagram, TikTok, whatever.
Oh, fantastic. All the things. Great. As we wrap up today's episode, I'd like to leave us all with a little quote, as I do, just about dating in LA. So here it is. Dating is like finding out your ex started dating a millionaire right before quarantine. Dating in LA, same thing, but your ex tweets photos of herself with her 2-week-old relationship aboard a $590 million yacht in the Grenadines, telling everyone to stay safe. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today, Kirsten Brown, GFA, Body by Gia. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for talking about bad dates. Thanks for keeping this going. It makes people laugh. It makes them have a good time. Thank you to everybody at AfterBuzz TV who has been working remotely to make this show still go on. My name is Adam Carr, reminding you all, stay horrible, stay single. Hey, we don't judge. Stay safe, wash your hands. RBG, stay healthy. Love you. Thank you so much, ladies.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.